Young folks, old folks, everybody come. Join our kids club and have a lot of fun. Please check your chewing gum and raisins at the door. And we'll tell you Bible stories that you never heard before. Today we're going to talk about Noah. Noah who built an ark and Noah who lived through a flood. That was a long time ago. There are a lot of people living on planet Earth and all kinds of wild animals and tame animals, but there was a problem. The people were wicked. They were evil. They just all day long thought about evil things to do, and nothing good was happening hardly anywhere. And God got upset. God doesn't like evil. God doesn't like wickedness. And so God thought, maybe I should destroy it all. But he noticed that there was one fellow, one guy, who really was a good guy. He loved and cared for people, and he did what his mother and father told him, and he obeyed the law, and he gave things to poor people, the homeless people, and God said, Noah, you're really a good guy. Let's make a plan. Here's my plan. I'm going to destroy the world through a flood. But you know this. This is a secret, but you know this. You should build a great big boat, and we're going to call this boat the Ark. That should have 3 decks, and you make it out of cypress wood, and you use pitch in order to, pitch kind of comes out of trees, and use this pitch in order to make it waterproof so it'll float. And then, when the boat is all finished, you invite animals to come on board. You invite 2 animals of the lions and 2 of the giraffes and 2 of the zebras and 2 of the kangaroos and 2 of every kind of animal so they could become mommies and daddies after the flood. And then you and your family, that's Mrs. Noah, and their 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, who at that time were old enough to have their own wives. So that meant 8, right? Noah, Mrs. Noah, and the 3 sons and their wives made 8 people, and all the animals, and you will survive the deluge. Deluge is a word for flood. So, Noah opened the door of the ark, and in came the animals. Along came Noah, walking in the dark, found himself a hammer, built himself an ark. Then came the animals 2 by 2, from the big giraffe to the little kangaroo. So all the animals boarded the ark, and then when everyone was safe and secure, Noah pulled up the gangplank, closed the doors, and sealed the roof, and it began to rain. And rain, oh, it rained so hard that even the springs and the lakes and the ponds began to gush up with water. After 40 days, it stopped raining, and Noah opened up the windows on the ark, and the sun came out, and the ark just floated on the water like a boat, but he wasn't going anywhere. And he wondered, I wonder where there's dry land. All he could see was water, 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 and more water. So he went into the raven's nest and he picked up a raven. You know what a raven is? It's a big dark colored bird. And he just sort of like flung the raven out the window. The raven kind of flew around looking for dry land and came back. So then Noah took a dove, sweet, gentle dove, and sent it out, and it flew around, couldn't find any dry land, came back. So then Noah waited 7 days, and he was hoping that the sun would dry the water, and he took the dove again and sent it out, and it flew around, and when it came back, in its beak was an olive branch. An olive branch. So that means the dove must have found an olive tree somewhere, and that means the water must have gone down, and eventually Noah found some land, and he pulled his ark, his big boat, up to that land, and it was the top of a mountain called Ararat, Mount Ararat. So on the top of the mountain, Noah opened the doors and let all the animals out. And he had a little celebration, thanking God for rescuing him and all the animals. And as the sun dried the land, eventually more and more land appeared. And when everything went back to normal, oh my gosh, was God upset because God saw the destruction of the flood. And God began to feel sorry and actually weep over all of the death and the destruction. And he said, gee, I am sorry I did all this. And so he said to Noah, thank you for what you did, but I don't really think I'm going to do this again. And as part of my promise not to kill all these wicked people again, I'm going to put a rainbow in the sky. So the big rainbow went up in the sky as God's promise to Noah that he wouldn't eliminate the entire human race and all the animals again. Well, that's the story of Noah and the ark. Young folks, old folks, everybody come to Kids Club and have a lot of fun. Please check your chewing gum and raisins at the door, and we'll tell you Bible stories that we never told before. Along came Noah, stumbling in the dark, found himself a hammer, built himself an ark. Then came the animals 2 by 2, from the big giraffe to the little kangaroo. Goodbye, children.